This is a pocketsofthefuture.com video blog.
So we put these doors, and we felt that these doors look like a doorway to another dimension or portal, because it's just these doors in the middle of a grassy area with some trees and a house around it, but the door doesn't appear to lead to anything. These doors we completed. I completed the Thanksgiving a couple days for our 10th anniversary. It fell on a Sunday this year, and the other doors we completed that day, that on our anniversary itself, on the barn. Me and the kids put it up, those doors. So it's been a great thing for us to have these doors again. It's coming to the natural flow of life. These doors were there as Habitat for Humanity. I believe was founded or developed by Jimmy Carter after some spiritual gathering that I went to in Texas. I met Jimmy Carter. My mom was a big fan of his. There were some Secret Service guys on there, but I was just sort of in a daze after the gathering. It was a meditative gathering in a certain peaceful condition that you have. And I was staring out the window when someone said, nice to meet you, or something to that effect. And I looked up and it was Jimmy Carter, and I shook his hand. He held out his hand to shake my hand, and he was walking through the plane, meeting everybody. He was on our plane, I guess, flying out of Austin. So Habitat for Humanity has been great for us, and it's like, my new favorite place, because it's just, again, you never know what you're going to get there. I got the windows for the barn. We'll go back and get windows for our little greenhouse that we're going to put over there in the corner, and hopefully the windows for the rest of the meditation center here. But so these two doors were completed on or around our 10th anniversary, and we were not able to really celebrate the anniversary that much with all the birthdays we have, and there's a couple of spiritual holidays that we have on top of the normal traditional holidays that we have here in America. We're just barely able to make it through all these things, so Leslie and I very seldom do anything for our anniversary, but we're completing the kids book I wrote, and that's like Leslie's helping me do that, and then we put up these doors for the meditation area. But it's been a significant thing for us. It came again on our 10th anniversary, and I thought that we've moved, I think, 13 or 14 times in 10 years. When we went to graduate school, we had all the major stressors except for I think one or two of them, and then with the top 10 stressors. But now we have this whole different life that we sort of settled into. Now we've reached some sort of critical mass with the animals in the farm. The chickens picking around. And now this is like a new stage, and one of the great things about having a meditation area here, it represents the first. There's 10 maxims in our spiritual practice. The first one's rise before dawn, offer your prayer and puja at the fixed hour, preferably before sunrise. Sitting in one of the same pose, have a separate place and seat for worship. Purity of mind and body should be specially adhered to. It maybe sounds a little bit confusing, but the maxim basically means you wake up and you meditate, and we meditate usually before dawn. It's a little difficult for us to do our practice as well as we used to when we were single, or before we had the farm. But it's easier for us to get up early because of that, because we have farm work and so forth. And you meditate at that time, and you have a separate place where you meditate, because the energy, you create a field. It's like an appointment with your soul or yourself within that meets you there at that day, and the energy is there. And it's like, in the kitchen there's an energy for food, and the basketball court there's energy for basketball. And so, you have a meditative spot where, there's not the chaos of kids running around and that sort of energy that's in like, where toys and, that sort of thing. Or, TV has a certain energy. You walk into a TV room, you can feel the presence of the TV. And there's Ramon eating under the fence. And so for us to have this place that that we're now building and taking this first step and having a doorway to that area, we can really focus in on having a separate place that we can create a condition for where we meditate, and that condition stays a subtle place where we can read books to the kids on spirituality and that sort of thing. A peaceful place that people can go and recharge, if they're stressed out or that sort of thing. So we have these various places in our house and our land where various activities take place, and they each have a condition and a way about them. And so it's interesting that this first maxim that we're supposed to live by is now we're addressing after 20, I think 8 years of abhyas, of practice, spiritual practice for Leslie, 13 years of spiritual practice for myself, and 10 years of marriage. We're just finally getting to really address this first principle. So it's been something that we're very we got a nice feeling about this to just look out at the door and see that this is finally going to happen.